sugar, sugar. You help me make ATP.
Welcome to another past HSC exam question videos. In this video, we're going to cover all the past HSC exam questions on the water for transport chapter. They're from 2001 to 2010. There's 11 questions all up in this video. What I'll do in a second, I'll actually read the first question. After I've read every question, you get about 5 seconds to pause the video. And once you've paused the video, I'll go through, you attempt the question, and once you've attempted the question, press play and I'll go over the actual answer itself. Also, I'll show you where the actual question comes from in terms of the playlist, the videos themselves. So the first question is, what is the function of hemoglobin? A, fight disease. B, transport oxygen. C, give blood its color. D, carry salt in the blood. And sorry about my spelling when it comes to disease, but you can pause the video now. And once you've paused the video, attempt the question, and when you're ready, press play. Welcome back. So the answer for this question is it transports oxygen. That's its purpose. That's the purpose of hemoglobin. Now, it doesn't help fight disease. That's white blood cells. It does give its color, the blood its color, but that's not its function. It's just a side effect. It's also wrong. And carry salt in blood is incorrect because salts are as ions. And where this has actually come from, this dot point? This dot point comes from this video, role and function of hemoglobin. Next question. Which blood vessels in humans contain structures that allow blood to flow in only one direction? A, arteries. B, capillaries. C, lymph vessels. D, veins. Pause the video, attempt the question, and when you're ready, press play. Welcome back. Alright, so this one, the actual correct answer is veins. Arteries and capillaries do not have valves. Lymph vessels do have valves, but they don't help prevent the backflow of blood. They only help prevent the backflow of interstitial fluid. So the only ones of these help to make sure there's something they have a valve to help prevent the backflow of blood are the veins. And this question comes from this one, number 6, structure and functions of blood vessels. Next one, which alternatively correctly identifies the tissues that transport carbohydrates for plants and animals? A, xylem for plants, lymph for animals. B, xylem for plants, blood for animals. C, phloem for plants and lymph for animals. And D, phloem for plants and D, blood for animals. And yeah, pause the video and attempt the question. Welcome back. Right, the correct answer for this one is D, because in plants it's phloem and animals it's blood. Lymph returns fluid to the heart. It does not deal with transporting sugar. And xylem transports water. So these are all incorrect. And this question comes from 2 dot points. It comes from substance transported in the blood. Number 24 is the number 1 here. And also xylem and phloem, video number 11. Next is, what are the 3 products extracted from donated blood? A, oxygen, water, and urea. B, red blood cells, salts, and oxygen. C, plasma, platelets, and red blood cells. And D, platelets, hormones, and amino acids. Pause the video and attempt the question. Welcome back. The correct answer for this one is C. And the reason why is because plasma, platelets, and red blood cells are all things we get from blood donations. Salts and oxygen are not blood, but that's not what we need when it comes to blood donations. Same as oxygen and water. And urea is obviously a waste product. And hormones and amino acids are also not required. So C is the correct answer. And this comes from the video called Products Extracted from Donated Blood, number 9. Next is this one. Blood travels around the body through arteries, veins, and capillaries. Which of the following correctly describes structure of each or function of each of these blood vessels? Artery always carries oxygenated blood for A. Veins always carries deoxygenated blood. Capillary always carries waste product. B, artery, thick muscular wall. Veins, thin wall with valves. Capillary walls 1 cell thick. C, Artery takes blood to heart, vein, thick muscular wall, capillary takes blood to and from the heart. D for artery carries blood under high pressure, veins carries blood under variable pressure. So D is for capillary, thin valves with valves. Thin walls with valves. So pause the video and attempt the question. Welcome back. So the correct one is B, because arteries have thick muscular walls, veins have thin walls with valves, and capillary have walls which are one cell thick. Arteries do not always carry oxygenated blood. When they come from the actual heart and go to the lung, they carry deoxygenated blood. Same with veins, they can also carry oxygenated blood. Arteries takes blood to heart, that's true. Veins have thin walls, not thick walls. Capillaries takes blood to and from the heart. That's more or less arteries and veins, not capillaries. And arteries carry blood under high pressure, that's true. Variable pressure, usually not, so veins usually have the same pressure. And capillary have walls with valves, that's incorrect also. So the correct answer is B, and that comes from this video, number 6, structure and function of blood vessels. The next one is the movement of materials through a plant occurs by translocation and the transpiration stream. What is the main difference between these mechanisms? Translocation occurs in endotherms, whilst transpiration stream occurs in ectotherms. B. Translocation occurs in xylem tissue, whilst transpiration stream occurs in the phloem tissue. C. Translocation involves active transport, while the transpiration stream involves passive transport. D. Translocation transports respiration products, while transpiration stream transports photosynthetic products. Pause the video and attempt the question. Welcome back. The correct answer was C, and the reason why is because, translocation involves active transport. You have to pump sugar into the actual phloem. Transpiration stream involves passive transport. That's correct as well. It's all done through osmosis. The other ones are incorrect because they have nothing to do with endotherms and ectotherms. Xylem and phloem is all to do with plants, not with animals. So A is incorrect. B is incorrect because translocation occurs in xylem tissue. That's false. It occurs in phloem tissue. And D is incorrect because transpiration stream transports photosynthetic products. It's false. It transports water. So C is correct, and that comes from video number 11, xylem and phloem transport in plants. The next one says, which alternative correctly describes the process involved in the movement of materials in cells labeled M and W? W is here, and M is here. A. M is active transport and W is active transport. B. M is active transport and W is passive transport. C. M is passive transport and W is active transport. Or D. M is passive transport and W is passive transport. 5 seconds to pause the video. Welcome back. The correct answer in this case is B, because M, which was the inside one is phloem, and in phloem we have sugar being actively pumped into the actual phloem. For W, that is our xylem, and remember xylem is all about osmosis, cohesion and adhesion, and W is also passive, so xylem is stuff that travels in xylem travels with passive transport. So B is correct and the other ones are all incorrect. Which alternative best describes what happens to oxygen and carbon dioxide as blood travels through the lungs and muscles? At the lungs, oxygen dissolves in blood. At the muscles, carbon dioxide dissolves in the blood. B. At the lung, oxygen binds strongly to hemoglobin. And B. At the muscle, carbon dioxide binds strongly to the hemoglobin. At the lungs, for C, oxygen binds strongly to hemoglobin. For C, at muscles, carbon dioxide dissolves in blood. And D. At the lung, carbon dioxide binds weakly to hemoglobin, and at the muscle, oxygen binds weakly to hemoglobin. I'll give you a hint. It says best describes. Let's pause the video and attempt the question. Welcome back. So the actual correct answer for this one is C. And the reason why is because at the lungs, oxygen binds strongly to hemoglobin, that's correct. And the most likely they travel as bicarbonate ions, and these bicarbonate ions for carbon dioxide is dissolved in blood. So this is the most correct, even though carbon dioxide also travels as carbon hemoglobin. So B is almost correct, but it still happens for both of these. But it's not the most correct because it's most likely to be dissolved in plasma as these bicarbonate ions. So all the other ones were wrong. C is the most correct, so it best describes it. And that comes from the video number 1, which is substances transported in the blood. Next one is, an experiment was conducted to test the effect of dissolved carbon dioxide, CO2, on the pH of water. It was found that the pH of water decreases as CO2 is added. How do these findings relate to the acidity of blood as it circulates in the body? A. Blood in the veins of muscles become less acidic. B. Blood in the arteries of muscles become less acidic. C. Blood in the capillaries of the brain become less acidic. And D. Blood in the capillaries of the lungs become less acidic. Welcome back. But the correct answer for this one is D. And the reason why, at the lungs, we remove CO2 from the lungs and exhale it, and CO2 makes it acidic, so at the lungs it becomes less acidic. C is incorrect, and the reason why is because of the blood of the capillaries, we have CO2 actually being put into our blood, which means it becomes more acidic. A and B are just generally too general, they're also wrong. And this one comes from comes from the carbon dioxide and pH experiment, and it also comes from the change in the chemical composition of blood. Number 7. And last we have, how are lipids transported in the mammalian blood? A. They are attached to proteins. B. They are dissolved in the blood. C. They are part of the membranes of red blood cells. Or D. They are attached to hemoglobin red blood cells. In 5 seconds to pause the video and attempt the question. Welcome back. So the actual correct answer was A. They are attached to proteins. And these were the lipoproteins, or the chylomicrons. So this one was correct, and the other ones were incorrect. Lipids don't dissolve in blood. Again, fats don't dissolve in water, so they don't dissolve. They are part of the membrane of red blood cells, is also incorrect. Only thing in red blood cells is hemoglobin, not lipids. And they're attached to hemoglobin red blood cells, is also incorrect. That's oxygen, not lipids. Where does this question come from? This question comes from, again, a combination, or actually just one. Substances transported in blood. That is number 1 of that playlist, or that chapter. So the reason why I've shown you what videos they come from is just so you know that in terms of the questions you might get in your HSC exam question, they cover all the videos, so, and all the syllabus stop points. So it's important that you make sure you know all your syllabus stop points, because there's no most important syllabus stop point, they can all come. But hopefully that was useful.
Thank you for watching.